hiking Volcán, Acatenango, and Fuego. We started off bright and early at 6:30 to get our gear packed, and then we went to breakfast at this restaurant. We got some big burritos and coffee. Then we drove about an hour to the start of the trailhead where we met the local guides that were going to go up with us. I will say the first part of this hike was probably the hardest for me. It was very steep. It was also starting to get very hot, but we did take quite a few breaks, was able to get some snacks in, stayed hydrated. There was also some dogs that lived on the volcano, and they would just randomly tag along and walk up with us. It's another snack break. Also, look at the views. Like, it's incredible. Then we stopped for lunch. We had sandwiches provided by the company. We also had little markets set up at these points that you can buy more snacks or electrolytes. After lunch, I feel like the hike definitely got a lot easier, although it was a bit less shaded. But just look at these views. Like, it's actually insane. This is when we started to get close to the base camp. We got our first peak of Fuego, and then as soon as we were walking into our base camp, it decided to erupt for us. It was a nice little welcome. I ate the rest of my sandwich that I didn't finish earlier, and then we got into our cabins, which we have a direct view of the volcano from there. After about an hour break at the base camp, we started the hike to Fuego. This hike was very dusty. We had to go down a very steep part, and then we went up a steep part. We didn't take as many breaks, but we still did take enough to get us up there. As we got higher, it started to get a bit colder, a bit windier, and then we finally made it to the little plateau that we were on for Fuego. We got there just a bit before sunset, so we got to watch all of the views, and then Fuego was pretty active at this point, erupting probably every 8 to 12 minutes, at some points every 3 to 5. I can't even describe how incredible this view was. And it only gets better as it gets darker and you can actually see the lava. This is when I started to put on some more layers because the sun was starting to set. It was getting even colder. Also, the dogs made it to Fuego with us, which is awesome. Sunset was beautiful, and Fuego again just kept erupting. And then as the sun went down, we got to see our first peak of like the red lava, not just the smoke. Our group stayed up here for a good amount of time to watch the entire sunset, and then also we waited after the sunset to catch a few more eruptions from Fuego. The later it got, the less it was erupting, and we thought we were gonna have to leave without it erupting one last time, but then
because it was a long time.
So yeah, we got one last final eruption. It was absolutely incredible. I know I keep saying that, but this experience was just unreal. We then started our descent down. There was a ton of people. As you can see, those are all headlamps. Like, it was crazy to look back on. It was very congested coming down with all the different groups. Then we got back to base camp and had dinner. We had spaghetti. Then we sat around the campfire for a while and roasted marshmallows. And then here's the eruptions again, this time from the cabins. Like, the view is insane. It did wake us up a few times throughout the night, with one of the biggest ones being at 3 a.m., which is when you start the sunrise hike. I unfortunately was not able to complete the sunrise hike, but I did get to watch the sunrise from the base camp, which was still just incredible to see. And again, Fuego was erupting fairly consistently while we were up there. Yeah, it was a very peaceful morning, just sitting at the fire, watching the sunrise, and then watching Fuego erupt. We got breakfast, which was just an assortment of bread, avocado, tuna, the sorts. And then after the other group got back from the sunrise hike, we all got our stuff together to start the hike down. The hike down, I will say, went by a lot faster. We didn't take nearly as many breaks. So yeah, we made it down to the start of the trailhead pretty fast, had a little snack before heading back to the meeting spot. And yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend, and I would absolutely go again.